What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, and you?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Staying busy, you know.
Awesome.
Busy like Robbizzy. Don't get it twizzy. We in the hizzy.
No, we're gonna freestyle, right? Like,
I don't know. I'll just give him a couple bars.
like
you know?
Drizzy, right?
Oh, you see what I'm saying?
It's not like that popular anymore, but
Okay.
Let's give a little introduction, right?
All right.
Like, my name is Robbizzy, formerly RU, and I'm a rapper, I'm a songwriter, and I'm a husband and father. And I'm here together with my brother and fellow artist as well.
Yes, Paul Anthony, you know, reggae dancehall, South Florida dancehall king in the building, you know, formerly known as Spider. You know, like about 15 years ago, I came in this room known as Spider.
For the, the real fans.
Been a long, yeah, for the day ones, you know. It's been a long time. Been doing this here, you know.
Nice.
I know you have too, so.
Well, not as long as you, but I mean, that's actually a good transition because you're already like, you're established, right, for like the area.
Yeah.
But I mean, compared to like smaller artists like me, like you already make money with your art, with music, right? Like you perform, and I think that's a great accomplishment. I think of course, you know, for smaller artists, that's the dream, you know, to not like have a day job or to like struggle and live completely from what they love doing.
From art. Yeah, exactly. And I've been doing that for like about 10 years, you know, with my band, locally, just performing around different venues, city events.
Check them out.
Reggae soldiers, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's been about 10 years that I've been doing that. And before that, I've been writing since I was 12, you know, so.
Since you were 12?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man, so.
What inspired you to start?
You know, growing up in a musical family, like my dad is a singer, my stepdad's a singer, producer, musician, you know, so growing up in that household, it was just like, kind of...
The influence was there?
Yeah, it was right there, you know, so it kind of just seemed like no-brainer to just pick up the music and find my own voice and my own style, of course, but like, you know, essentially following the footsteps of my father, stepfather, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it was kind of destined for you to go this path?
Or? I think so. Yeah, I like to think so.
You're the chosen one.
I mean, yeah, I like to think so. You know what I mean?
Definitely are. Yeah.
Well, you too, man. I mean, you know, what inspired you? Like,
what inspired me? I mean, I'm from Germany, right? Like, I mean, like you can hear on my accent. So back then, I didn't even know what I'm a rapper, right? So for me, I always loved music, but I didn't have the influence like you did, right? Like my parents, they're like, you know, normal people, like no artists. So I loved definitely, you know, like always listening to music, but it wasn't like a special connection until I was like 11 or 12.
Okay.
I know I was like in summer camp.
What was like the first hip hop song you heard?
Like, unconsciously, probably like Eminem, you know, like Stan or something.
Stan, really?
Yeah, but like on the radio, you know. I think this was like played on the radio, but I didn't even have a concept about what a rapper was. Right?
Oh, really?
Because like in Germany, we had like rappers, but I know that someone in like the summer camp was approaching me and was saying like, oh yeah, that's a rapper, and you know, he has a mask on. It's like, what is a rapper? Yeah. And like everybody laughed at me, you know. Like he doesn't know what a rapper is.
Oh man.
And I was like, oh shit. You know?
How old are you?
Like 11, 10 or 11 or something. And I was like, oh my God, you know. And then I got like into it with like German, like rap more, you know. And like his name is Zido, and it was like a very big like rapper.
I'll check that out.
Yeah. I mean, you won't understand a word, but
but you know,
it's cool. Yeah.
I like music. It doesn't matter like what is. I mean, of course, it does matter, but like you know, you can always appreciate music, like no matter if you understand or not, because like it's coming from the heart and soul. You're gonna feel it. You know.
This is what happened with the English songs, right? Yeah. For me, because I didn't understand the word like until I was. I mean, honestly, sometimes I still don't, you know, get all the lyrics, you know, especially when rappers mumble or something. or like slang words, or
Yeah,
you know,
like
but,
cut off words.
yeah, like sometimes like, okay, I think I guess what that means.
Yeah.
Like,
Context clue.
Yeah, and then it was completely wrong in the end of the day. When you look it up, it's like, oh, it was so off. But,
Hey, but you know, it's funny, like even people that speak English hear English songs and there's like misheard lyrics.
yeah.
I have those experiences too with even English. I know it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
So,
subtitles. Like when you watch Netflix or something.
Yeah, you think it's that, but like for years, and then like I can't even think of an example right now, but like
when you see a British like people speak, or like even like on Netflix, you know, you need like
like for example, like this song "Lean On" Major Lazer. She goes, blow a kiss, fire a gun.
Yeah,
and we need someone to lean on.
Yeah.
I always thought, I don't know what I thought it was just saying, but like it sounded kind of like Louis Farrakhan. I don't know what it was saying. I don't know what I thought, but like that's kind of like in my head, like you know.
I actually have like songs like that too, where I basically always say like something wrong, you know. There's like this one song, I don't know how it's called, but you know, me and my wife always laugh about it because there's like a video of like a lizard or something. Like that is, I think it's a guy on LSD or something. It's like completely nonsense. And he says like one thing, it's like Fiddler's Barnes or something, you know, makes no sense, you know. But there's like one song, like on the radio, like a popular song, I forgot, you know, when I maybe sing it, saying Fiddler's Barn, down. It goes like this, like in the hook.
Yeah.
And we always laugh and we say like Fiddler's Barnes of this, like, you know, listen to it. It's probably
you just make it up.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, I mean, this was basically what you said, you know, with like you feel the music, you know, even though you don't you understand the lyrics.
Yeah.
So for me, this was like, at one point I only listened to like, you know, US rap because I just felt it so much.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I could understand like the German songs perfectly, but sometimes there was like, you know, the essence missing, you know?
Right.
And then when you listen like to like Eminem, obviously white guy listen to Eminem.
I mean, Eminem is a great rapper, bro. He's like one of the best.
Yeah, like Lose Yourself and, you know, started to listen to this and still, like, I mean, if you ask me now, like, rap the whole song, I probably wouldn't be able to, you know? But, no, I think
the whole song.
One shot at that. No, I mean, I would still need, like, to see the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
Often, you know, like.
What song do you know, like, straight through, like, without looking at the lyrics?
My own. Yeah.
Like, so if someone was like, get up and do this, like, any cover song, like, you. Like
probably like Greg, Hotline Bling.
Hotline Bling.
Yeah, like
that's awesome.
More like simple ones, you know.
It's
like,
funny because I did that song the other day in karaoke, Hotline Bling.
You know like so many songs, right? Because you do covers when you perform.
Yeah, I know a lot of songs. Like, and sometimes like my band will be like, oh, you know this one? Like while we're on stage, I'd be like, no, I don't know if I know it. But like, then when I go to do it, like I know pretty much the whole thing except like maybe the third verse.
Jesus.
You know, like. But yeah, I mean,
that's a real artist, guys, you know, like, I mean, it's like this, you know, so it's like, I mean, you're an artist nevertheless, right? Whatever you do, but I mean, this is like real skill, because if you ask me like, hey, do one right now, you know, like any song, like that's a skill, right? It's like kind of a magician or something like that. Or like guys like Harry Mack also that are like freestyling. Like, do you know him or?
No.
Harry Mack?
No.
You need to watch.
Maybe I've seen him before.
Like a white guy in like here in the US, like walking around on the street and he's just like freestyling about everything.
Okay.
He sees and
yeah,
like shit like this is inspiring for sure.
That's a skill I wish I was stronger with, freestyle. I think I could, you know what I mean? I do when I'm in the situation. Sometimes I'm on stage and like I just like make up stuff. Yeah. But I just would like to strengthen that skill a bit, you know, freestyle.
You should go here in Miami, in Wynwood, every Tuesday they have like a rhyme cipher. Yeah? Yeah, it's like on Instagram.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know if I showed you ever, but
I mean that's cool.
They meet here and there's like talented guys, like some like, you know, spinning bars and and I think, you know, if you would try more, just like, you know, having fun, you know, like.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's about having
Yeah, I think it's like always so serious, like, oh, you're on the spot, you know.
Right.
You need to think about it. Even like when you ask me, like, what song could you perform? I'm immediately like, oh, you know, like. But then if you're like, let's say in a, you know, more, like just having fun and flowing mindset, then you probably could up. Like you said, like when someone asks you, you were able to perform, you know? So
Yeah.
sometimes you don't know what you're actually able to do, right?
Unless you're in the spot, like you said. But I think what you said was a good point. Like, you gotta remember to have fun. That's the thing about music that gets lost, especially for people like me who've been doing this since I'm 12 years old.
Yeah.
I get, it is a job, you know, like I get paid, you know, doing music. And when you're in the music for so long, like, you have to consciously remember to do things that feel fun to you. You know what I mean? Like, experiment with genres that might not be, you know, like your style or whatever. Like, you know, just remember to like, this is supposed to be fun. When we started out, it's
about
fun.
love,
it's
right?
It's like so fun, and like, you know, but like when you start to get the pressure, like, oh, I gotta make a hit song, I gotta sell this amount, or I gotta, you know, then follow like a vanity metrics. You know, it starts to become not fun, and like I'm glad you brought that up because like you gotta remember to keep the fun element in it. Yeah. And then that also translates, like we were talking about, from the heart and soul. Like there's also, you know, the fun comes from the heart and soul too. Like you gotta like put that fun element and, you know, the enjoyment, like, realness, authenticity. Like people feel that, like it translates through, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And they feel as well if it's forced. They feel when it's like inauthentic. They feel when you're like scared and whatever, which is like, it's okay to be scared, you know, even like for you as a performer, right? Like if you go, like, I mean, thanks to you, I had like 3 shows I played with you, like on a gig, and every time, you're like scared and, you know, you're getting better every time. But I think a lot of people, artists probably, they are scared of that, you know what I mean? Like they block themselves, right?
You just gotta be ready. You gotta be ready for anything, you know? Like I wouldn't say I'm like scared anymore to like sing or perform in front of people. Yeah. I'm more nervous speaking in front of people. Like if I gotta get up and like give a speech and shit, like that's like, you know, but like singing is like no problem. I jump up.
Because it's scripted, maybe.
And I'm used to it. I've been doing it. You know, like you said, the more you do something, the less fear, the less anxiety, the more comfortable you're gonna be with it. Yeah. Even speaking. If I speak in front of people more and more, which I've been doing, you know, hosting certain events, so it's just getting better in like second nature, and that whole anxiety just goes away.
What about speak? Because I saw you and you already, I think you're doing a great job, you know, like on the stage, you know, like calling out things and being like, you know, the leader on stage and being entertaining. Like, what do you mean, like, exactly with, like, speaking? Like, cause you're not supposed to have, like, a TED Talk, right?
No. Right. Well, I guess that kind of thing, like, like public speaking, you know, public speaking or, like, stage banter with the crowd. Yeah. You know, like, I mean, I guess nobody notices but me. We're always critical of ourselves. Yeah. And, like, we know, like, oh, man, like, you know, I should have said this or whatever, you know? So I think it's more that, just me, like, knowing that I want to strengthen that. Yeah. You know?
Like, you feel more comfortable. Maybe you do it right now, but you don't really feel, like, comfortable with it.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So, but, you know, like anything else, the more you do it, the
better you get.
The better you get at it.
Who do you think is a really good, like artist and like entertainer as well, and like guys that can really well, you know, captivate people through their speech, you know?
I don't know about speech, but like my favorite performer would be Damian Marley.
Oh, okay.
You know, like he's just like very engaging with the crowd. He's very like exciting. He knows how to get the crowd like with him. Yeah. On top of like just being an awesome lyricist and like having great music. His concerts I saw at a young age, and like I was always very like moved and inspired by the way like he got you like jumping up and like this, you know. It's just like excited, and I want to give that same energy.
You do, you know. Yeah. Check him out.
Thank you. Check me out.
You're gonna see. I mean, speaking of Damian Marlin, right? Marley, sorry.
It's okay.
Stupid guy. But Marley, right? Like, so your dad, right, was like performing with Bob Marley.
So in 1975, my dad and his band, they opened up for Bob Marley and the Wailers in Canada. In
That's
Toronto.
a big deal, huh?
Yeah. My mom's from Canada, so I'm part Jamaican, part Canadian. But yeah, so his band opened for them in 1975 up there, and they knew each other from Jamaica and stuff. And the producer that found Bob Marley also discovered my dad. His name is Lee Scratch Perry. He's like a dub early reggae pioneer production, and he's the one that discovered my dad and like gave him the name Pat Satchmo because like he was singing like with that Louis Armstrong like what a wonderful world, stuff like that.
So like, that's really good.
Yeah, like, he has like recordings from the late 60s, early 70s with this producer, Lee Scratch Perry. Wow. You know, so this is the same guy that like discovered Bob Marley too. So
really
he passed
immersed.
Yeah, man. So
like the reggae world, like, you know,
yeah,
prodigies, one of the prodigies. Yeah.
no, but I mean, no, I like
underrated, you know.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I mean, that's like super cool. So would you say that you basically like it was predestined to you? Like it's maybe like easier for you to be successful in that? In the music, let's say, compared to like another artist that are like have no background in the music, you know what I mean?
I mean, I wouldn't say easier, but I would say, I mean, I guess you could say easier because
like he got connections.
He has the connections, but you know, a lot of them I've also lost touch, you know, so it's like we couldn't like really call on those connections sometimes. But I will say that like it's the blueprint. You know, having the blueprint there to know, okay, like my dad did this and he was successful and did these things, you know, and I have that blueprint to look at, but at the same time, it's a new world, it's a new age, like I have my own style, I have my own path, you know what I mean? So like, I also had to, and at the same time, here's the kicker, like when people who have been there give you advice as a young artist, you don't really want to listen to that shit sometimes. You want to do your thing. You want like, you know what I mean? You want to be like, wow.
You don't want to be like the son of, you know, like an established artist. You want to be like who you are, right?
Well, yeah, that, or like, you know, you want like one thing I didn't want when I was younger, like people writing for me. I didn't want somebody writing for me and me getting a hit and then, oh, give us another one. And then I can't write another one. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I wanted my skills to be at a certain level to be like, yo, I can write a hit. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of, you know what I mean? It was just one of those little things as a young artist. Now I'm more open to collaborating with writing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like that like takes shit to like a whole nother level. You know, like for example, me and Soulstar, like we work together and like we have sessions where we write and like collaborate. Soulstar is a mega producer from Jamaica. Awesome. You know what I mean? Like I work with him a lot on a lot of my music, like songs like Dip. We got one coming out called Suéltalo with Cruise Rock. Great guy. You know, he's a great dude, you know what I mean? Great producer. So like, I just say it to say like, you know, the writing collaborations, you and I, like when we get together, like with our song, like, we got one coming out called Supernovas.
July 11th.
Yeah.
July 11th.
July 11th. Yeah. Like, and it's just cool because like we could get together and like, we really like constructed that song. Yeah. Like, we bounced ideas.
It took longer as well. Yeah. You know, but sometimes good things will take a little bit. And I think people are going to see that as well with this one.
Exactly.
That even though, you know, it took longer, it got postponed, but you know, like the thought and effort you put in something, I think it's really gonna you know, reward, right?
And I think we wouldn't have got there without like our collaboration, you know what I mean? Like I really think both of our ideas like made it be what it is, and like, you know, you did a great job with it.
You too, bro.
And what's the guy on the hook? What's his name again?
Sorry, he's from Nigeria. I know. Yeah. The translation, like the pronunciation, it's Tsuvalari or something like that.
Okay. Shout out Tsuvalari. Yeah, you did a great job with the hook too, you know?
It's a good realization as well, because we tried, you know, to sing the hook. Yeah. And I mean, I can say for myself, like, I'm still like learning singing right now. Like, I'm not the greatest singer. I don't have the natural ear, but I've still tried. You have a great
voice though.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm like, try to practice on it, you know, like every time. It's getting frustrating, but it's getting better.
It's getting better. Yeah. You get there, you know what I mean?
And like, you tried it as well, like on that song. And I mean, you're obviously already singing, you know, but I think for that,
but it wasn't the right energy.
Yeah, for maybe the you know, the tonality, or you know, the key the song was in. But I mean, to as well then realize like, hey, maybe we should involve like other people. Yeah, be like humble as well, to be like, hey, you know, we tried our best, so we need to do what's best for the song. Right?
Exactly.
So, and that's, I think as well, like a maturity mindset, because you need to see what's good, you know,
for the song, it's about like ego and like not relinquishing, but you know, like just be like, all right, I'm okay if like
That's better than what I did.
Yeah, right. I know, you know what song comes to mind too of yours, My Baby.
Yeah,
that's an amazing song. You, Alice.
Can't wait, yeah.
You know, I Can't Wait.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
You know,
I can't. What is it? Can't Wait.
yeah, it's called Can't Wait.
Can't
but
Wait.
you know, like My Baby is
Yeah.
you know the whole theme of it, and
Yeah, like, you know, and having Allison Tuesday on the hook. Shout out Allison.
very good,
You know?
very good singer.
Amazing.
Book her.
Amazing. Yeah, no,
You
definitely.
make a song and
But like having her on the hook, just delivered that emotion and that vibe.
wasn't planned either, right?
Yeah.
It happened, and this as well, like back to the fun thing, right? Like
Exactly.
this is how if you just like try to calculate, you know, and construct like everything logically, right, to what you think, you know, is gonna, like I'm speaking on like I'm like a million, you know, like a very successful artist, you know.
But you are successful, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, better than I was, but I mean, the point is just like you need to basically as well feel the song, right? Like the emotions, and you need to have fun with it, and
exactly,
you know, that's
we always got to remember that part. Remember the fun,
sure.
you know what I mean?
For sure.
So how's speaking of Can't Wait, like how's being a father, like, and an artist, you know, like, cause I mean that
awesome.
that happened for you on your musical journey. So like, how was that for you?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, having a baby, like many other dads, I'm gonna tell you, is the best thing you know, someone could have.
Oh.
It's a real blessing. And I actually recorded like a birthday song because she's just turned 1.
Oh.
So I recorded like a birthday song for her.
Nice.
Yeah, and
That's beautiful.
It inspires you, right?
Yeah.
Like you wanna give as much as possible as well, like on an artistic way. Like you feel, you know, you can say so many things, right?
Yeah.
About it. And I think struggles sometimes are there because, you know, making art, you know, requires time and effort, especially when you start out, and like a child takes a lot of time, you know, and that's kind of, you know, I mean, the greatest thing in the world, but I mean, for that, it's a struggle sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? And, but hey, you know,
It's worth it, you know?
it's
And,
worth
like,
it for sure, yeah.
And like, I know she's gonna be really proud of you.
Oh,
She
yeah.
goes up and hears all your, you know, all your work.
Yeah, and as well proud that I'm still doing it, right? Because it's very easy, you know, to just think like, you know, I have no time anymore, you know, like that's it with the music, you know, and I still want to, you know, continue being on that path.
Good.
As well, I think she even sometimes maybe it takes some time away from her right now, but I think in the end of the day, she's gonna understand and like, hey, I have a dad that actually follows his dreams, right? And follows his heart instead of, you know, like throwing everything away, which is understandable too, you know, there's no judgment, right?
No.
But yeah.
But if you're meant to do something, you're not gonna quit on it, you know, because it's meant to be.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is what you need to do. If you have a passion, you need to, you know, follow it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've never had that moment where I'm like, fuck this.
I wanted to ask you that actually.
I've never had that moment where like, this is not for me. This is not what I should be doing. I've had people tell me that. Or like, you should do something else, which, you know, it's coming from a place of love and, you know, like, you know, care from genuine care for me. You know what I'm saying?
Like parents also, you know.
I'm not gonna say who, you know what I'm saying? But
like, I mean, for me, my parents were like, they didn't even encourage me, you know, like to start at all. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, you know, coming from a musical family is also a double-edged sword, because or like a coin. There's another side to that. Is like they know the pitfalls, they know the, you know, the shit you can get into.
They want to protect you.
They want to protect you. Exactly. So, you know, and I get that, but also as a young artist, you're like, it's hurtful. You know, it's like, damn, like, this is what I want to do. Yeah. Like, you know, it's like, I'm not feeling fully supported. So I feel like it's me against the world.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hurtful. But, you know, just remembering it comes from a place of love is like, you know, you don't hold it against people or blame them. You know?
And you need to understand, people are always on, you know, like the level of consciousness, you know, they're at this time, you know,
exactly
speaking to them. So,
exactly.
I mean, for them, they generally think like that's a bad idea, you know?
Like,
right. Like they don't even consider that this might crush your whole world. And they just, you know what I mean? Like, they just think like, hey, you know, like, don't do it. They don't believe me. Like, I'm protecting you. You know?
Exactly.
And, yeah, I mean, I learned, you know, to not have like anger, you know, towards them, because sometimes I feel like, hey, you know, imagine I would have been encouraged, you know, like when I wanted to start, like when I was 11, like I wanted to, you know, take this serious, said I want to be a rapper, and they were like, what a rapper, like, I mean, it was so foreign as well for them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like
they just
Germany,
don't get it.
like,
They don't get what it means.
Like, what do you mean? You know, like, what even, like, you Robin from the village or what?
So this Clooney shooting movie. Yeah, it's a little bar from one of our
dudes. Like we were Wolverine.
Hey. I love that. I love that bar.
I mean, and so yeah, I think I had like a lot of resentment.
They didn't have a reference point to be, or it kind of feels like
this is not a path.
It's like winning the lottery kind of shit, type shit.
It's like we are not those people, you know.
Yeah.
Like we are. Yeah. I mean, I come from like a, how to say, like police family, right? Like they're working for the government. My dad's police officer. Yeah. And most of my family actually are. So it's like, and as well, they're from East Germany, right? So this is like a whole different ballgame because they grew up like in captivation, right? There was like a wall, there was communism basically. Right? So for them, the best thing, and still today, I think they think is like to be, you know, like working for the government because it's like a secure job, you know, like not even like to have a job outside the government is like risky, you know, because it's like, oh, you
forget about dreams, like
you don't have a pension, you know, and then you want to be like an artist, like
forget about fucking art, you know, like that.
It's like you want to go to Mars or something, you know? Yeah, it's like this, you know what I mean? You want to go to Mars.
I mean, it's not. I mean, sure, it was tough to deal with as a kid, but
I didn't even start until I was 19, you know?
Really?
Yeah, like.
But you wanted to at 11.
I wanted to.
And you were probably writing a little bit, right?
I started to, but in school, just very little. Like, and I wasn't even considering. I was always listening to it. And when I listened to it, I was sometimes zoning out. I don't know if you did that, but sometimes I was just in my room listening to songs and just looking against the wall and like, listening to it, you know, like, and feeling it.
Because you're resonating with the message and stuff.
And visualizing. Yeah. So, like, I was not listening. I don't know how other people listening to music, you know, but I was listening to it like I am the guy performing, you know what I mean? I listened to, I don't know, Eminem, Drake song or so, and then I was like on stage being that guy, you know? You know what I mean?
It makes sense. I mean, for me, listening to music was more of an absorption thing. Also because of like my Jamaican like heritage and culture, like I was like listening to a lot of like dance hall, which is like Sean Paul style. And like the early ones like Super Cash, Shabba Ranks, Buju Banton. Like I was like sucking in like the influence like that I didn't grow up with in Jamaica. I never grew up in Jamaica, so like, but I fell in love with the music because it's a part of my culture. So I'm just like listening and like just like absorbing it all, you know. Like I guess I visualized myself on stage, but I was on stage so young that like I was more able to refer to you know, those
an
moments.
Actual reality for you. It wasn't like kind of an escape, you know, like a fantasy, right? It was like a real thing, right?
There was an element of fantasy, but it was like I had a reference point that was concrete.
Like you could realize that, you know, it's like helpful to you and you actually can implement whatever you hear.
Right?
So, I mean, you said actually something very interesting, you know, which could go deep, you know, I don't know, inside your identity. Okay. Because you said you make reggae music, you're like half Jamaican, but you never actually lived there.
No.
Like, have you ever, you know, feelings of like being an imposter or like,
of course,
or something, you know?
Of course, because like, well, and I feel like that from my own culture, like, you know, even in South Florida, like I feel like
light skin.
Well, Sean Paul is light skin, and like he's like the biggest hit maker in Jamaica, and like people still don't refer to him as the dancehall king, which I don't understand why.
Really? Who do they refer to as that?
Like Beanie Man or Vibes Cartel, which that's
I never heard of them.
No, I mean you've heard their music. You've heard their music.
Probably.
You know, but it's deserved. I'm not saying it's not deserved, but like they don't refer to like the biggest hit maker who has the most like numbers and the most like appeal worldwide. You know, they just kind of like ignore him because there's another deeper element of colorism in our culture, and you know, going back to like, you know, feeling accepted, like, I've never felt like collectively, like the community here, like takes me seriously as a dancehall or reggae artist. And that's fine. Like, it used to be hurtful. I used to be like, damn, like, I'm representing for my culture and I'm, trying to push the music forward, but like people don't even like care, like from where
they always do that.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not in Jamaica all the time too. So I'm not like, inserting myself into certain situations and circles, which that's my fault too, so like,
as a gentleman.
Yeah, I know Gentleman. Yeah.
He's like a German guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Like, but Jamaicans love gentlemen. Jamaicans love gentlemen.
That's so
they love
weird. Why do they love, like, let's say gentleman, which is like a complete gringo, right? Like,
it is weird.
And then like someone like you that has actual, like, credibility, maybe not full credibility because you didn't live there or you're not fully black or whatever, but like that's kind of hypocritical, no? Like, it's strange.
It's just one of those things, like psychology, I guess. Like, it's more exciting to see someone else from somewhere else, like adopting our culture.
This guy versus like endearing, like
like, and if you're doing it well, then it's like you said, endearing versus like somebody who, is of the culture but is not like there or like
you just want to adapt like our culture for your benefit in a way.
Yeah, I mean that's not how I see it because I'm very proud that it's a part of my culture and I love my culture and I want to
be close.
I want to be close. I want to see the music that I love be successful and I want to be a part of that. I want to contribute to that. But I just learned that like, hey, people are going to feel how they feel.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, I'm going to make great music.
Yeah.
And like eventually the people that want to support me will and the ones that don't won't. And you got to be okay with everybody not liking you or what you do. And that's like the point I had to be, that's the point I had to arrive at, to kind of not get my feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
did you ever, like, I mean, you said that you were never at this point where you were like thinking about giving up, which you probably did at one point, like just thinking maybe, like.
I mean, I always thought of like, well, go ahead, finish.
So yeah, I mean, what was like your lowest point then, like instead of, let's say, you were not there to give up, but definitely the point where you were like, hey, this really sucks,
That happened like, okay, so, no, not every day. It's like you have, the journey in music is not like a straight way up.
Yeah.
It's not a straight way down. It's like more like really this. It's more like this, like it's kind of like, so that's happened to me several times, like a low point or like, let's say you go travel somewhere for a gig and like for whatever reason, like things go wrong, logistics go wrong, or like you can't find a promoter at the end and you don't get paid or you don't get paid what you were promised and stuff like that. So like that type of thing, like it's discouraging and things are discouraging and things happen that discourage you. But it's more about like when those things happen, like, okay,
how do you deal with it?
Yeah, how do you deal with it? Is it like, okay, I'm gonna just lay in bed for a couple of days and like hate myself because of it? Or am I gonna like remember that this is what I'm meant to do, this is what I'm put on the earth to do, and like nothing is gonna take that away, unless somebody reaches inside of me and like rips my voice out or my soul out. There's nothing that's gonna stop me from
mindset
being massively successful. It's like it's just like those things can happen and discourage you into failures, but then you have like high moments, you have successful moments. Like I performed on Sunfest 2018, I was on a Grammy nominated album, like
it's awesome.
Like that was like a high point, and a low point because there's things with that deal that was not great, you know what I mean? So like it's just like things happen that are good and bad, but like you gotta think and look on the bright side, I guess, glass half full. Like this happened, I'm talented enough for this to happen. Like I've been going and this shit happened, you know what I mean? And like this is a sign that like I should keep going, you know what I mean? And this just keep going. And like I'm saying it to you, I'm talking to myself and you, like you're gonna have those high moments, like, and you're gonna have moments that discourage you. But no matter what, you just keep going and keep improving as well. Like, finding a way to improve over time. I used to say success equals, when what did it say? When opportunity meets preparation, but also improvement over time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need to always work on yourself to be ready when the moment comes.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
When the opportunities arrive.
Get it, exactly.
You want to be prepared.
You gotta be prepared. Like, for the whole Whaler situation, like when I was in the studio with Emilio, he was like, write a verse for this in 15 minutes.
He said that.
Like, well, he was like, he didn't say in 15 minutes, but he was like, let me back up. He's like, I need you to write a verse for this, for somebody to re-sing it, like Shaggy or whatever, like some established. And like, I'm there in the studio, and this is Emilio Estefan, fucking Grammy, multiple Grammys, and like, I gotta come up with a fucking verse, like right there, you know?
You need to, you know?
So that's what I mean by like preparation. Like, you gotta be ready to fucking come up with a hot ass verse. Yeah. And by the way, Shaggy didn't re-record it. Like, they left my vocals on it because they liked it. You know? So like, that's how I ended up on it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that's the preparation.
That's it, man. You know, like,
you know? And you're gonna have that moment too. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be in a studio and somebody's gonna be like with an established artist, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, like, let's go. We're doing it now. Like, we got an hour." And you're gonna, like, your adrenaline is adrenaline. Your adrenaline is just gonna take over you, and you're just gonna it's gonna just come to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or you freeze and just like...
No, that's not an option. That's not an option. Because why would you? You know, like, you've been dreaming about it.
I mean, I think I wouldn't, you know, but I think...
I don't think you would.
There's people that maybe if they don't practice, you know, or if they don't have the belief, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I think imposter syndrome is it's a real thing, right?
Definitely.
Like, I have this every time. I don't know if it's imposter syndrome, but you definitely, when you record and, you know, it takes a lot, you know, and you start every time like just throw it away.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, sometimes
run out
songs
of here.
do get thrown away. Sometimes songs do get thrown away. Like, there's songs that I've done that never saw the light of day. You know what I mean? And it's okay. It's part of the process. Like, you're just working through ideas, you know?
Yeah.
But never make you feel like I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
You know?
Why do you think you have that mindset? Because I think there's many people that tried even way less than you tried, right? And they like give up by you know, at one point, right?
I think it's kind of a thing like, I've come too far to turn back now.
Okay.
You know, like,
too much. That's
like, why the fuck would I do all this work and then become a lawyer?
Yeah.
like it's just like,
nothing wrong with being a lawyer.
Nothing wrong with being a lawyer. And maybe one day I'll, you know, be like, oh, okay,
meaning of
time to do this, you know, but I'm not there yet. You know, because I feel like my full potential hasn't even been reached and realized.
Yeah, of course.
Like, even though I've been doing it, like, look at this guy Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll's like making music.
40s,
yeah, he's I think something, but he's been doing music for 20 years and just now breaking through. You know, songs have been out for 10 years and they blow up. You know what I'm saying?
It's amazing. Yeah, I always thought already with like 21 also, I was thinking like, oh, I'm already, you know, late to the game. You know?
Yeah, I used to say that shit. If I'm not like signed by 30, I'm gonna give it up. Yeah. 35, bro. I'm like, I'm still energized.
There, and you have fun, and that's well more important, right? Like, you know, imagine you do something that you hate, right? Like on a daily basis.
Exactly. That's the shit too.
That's most of the people, you know, that's the reality for most of the world. Unfortunately, because obviously you need money, right? Yeah, let's maybe speak about that too. Like, how do you know, keep going on the music when you have bills to pay and maybe you don't have any foreseeing, you know, income from it, you know, like get a part-time job or what?
Yeah, you know, part-time job. I mean, I will say thankfully, thanks to God, you know what I'm saying? It's been a long time since I had to do that, you know? I mean, pandemic, yeah, you know, I did a little bit of work here and there, but nothing like a job, you know what I'm saying? Like, the last job I had was like over 10 years ago.
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Thank you.
Even that, you know, like even if you're not, you know, big and established or you made it, whatever, like even to do that, like in my eyes, that's big, right? Because you live and you can support yourself from something you love doing, like what your passion is.
Yeah.
So even that is like a big accomplishment.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess I take it for granted, you know, because I mean, I'm not always like when I'm performing singing my originals. You know, that's the thing that like makes me be like, okay, like it feels like work again in a way. Like, if, you know, it's like not exactly what I wanted to, what I was dreaming about when I was a kid, you know, but I do have those type of shows and moments where like I'm performing for the cities and we are doing like fully original sets and like, you know, so I do have those moments, you know, and those are the moments that I'm like, okay, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, it feels good to do.
Again, you made it.
When I'm singing Bob Marley, you know, it's not that there's anything wrong with it.
Impersonator.
You know? Not impersonator, just like covering.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause I don't try to sound like Bob. I do things very much in my own way.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's just like, you know.
One love.
One heart, let's get together and feel alright. You see, one thing about Bob Marley people need to remember, and artists like us need to remember, is he says so much.
Sing a song.
He says so much by saying so little.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The poetic, I mean, ChatGPT can't get that good yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, where he's saying so much in so few words. It comes across very simple, but it, like, every word, like, touches your soul.
Yeah, that's like the soul aspect where we spoke earlier. Like, he is just, but there's very few artists that are really just impersonating, like, the essence in a way, right? Like, pure love,
of the
right?
soul, pure, and like, look at Three Little Birds. That's the same verse 3 times. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds. So it's 3 times he sings the same verse, and it sounds like you don't even notice because it's just like, oh, you know, like
it's just pure vibe, right?
Yeah, you know. So I think we need to remember like that simplicity when we're writing. You know, is so powerful. Like, how can we say the most by saying the least? Yeah, you know.
Well, with that being said, what do you think about like the development of like our society or even like our music scene in a way where I think a lot of meaning is like lost, right? In a way.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like,
especially with rap music, I think you can definitely see, you know, like the evolution, like on the last 20 years, like lyrics are really watered down, like really like quality wise, I think deteriorated, and it's all like about like vibe and what feels good and what could be like a hit or something, but a lot of things don't really have meaning. Like, would you agree with that? Or
I mean, I'm somebody that really likes well constructed lyrics and you know, like meaning. Really intentional. That's why I like Damian Marley. With him and Nas had that album Distant Relatives, and to hearing like 2 lyricists going back and forth, like, you know, it was crazy. Like, I love, like, well-constructed songs and lyrics. Yeah. But I'm also cognizant of the fact that, like, there's so much music out there. We know that. Like, look at Spotify. How many songs are uploaded every day? They say, like, over 100,000. So, like, you know, there's music for everything. Every type of person, like, all people, all situations. You know, so I think, like, just going back to that, every music has its purpose. So there's fun music. If you want to be in the club and drunk and, you know, just acting a fool, there's music for that. If you want to sit and have a really deep thought, you know, there's music for that. If you're in love, like, there's music for that. If you're in a heartbreak, there's music for that. You know, so like
open-minded. You know.
Yeah, it's just like, and every artist like just is doing what they feel and whatever. And like, there's people that love it, which are the fans, and there's people that are gonna hate it. Yeah, you know, and I just think it just matters about like what we do. You know, like what feels good for us, and you know, there's music. I mean, obviously we see like certain music being propped up more than like the well thought out and like, you know, well constructed music.
Yeah, like there's an agenda behind it. So, you know, like these certain type of songs. Cause I say as well, I mean, just to get a little spiritual here, right? Like, cause I know like you're into spirituality and, you know, getting better as a person, my personal development. Yeah. And, me as well. So, like I heard even like, you know, some songs or like, you know, someone has an agenda, but every song has like energy, right?
Frequency.
Yeah, frequency. And, you know, even if you don't pay attention to it, but you listen to the songs like in the stores or in the gym, you know, there's always like some unconscious messaging, right?
Oh, it can always like have an effect on your mood and your, you know, your vibe, definitely.
So, and I mean, most songs you hear, they're all about like kind of, you know, let's say, partying or drinking, you know, like just, or like love, heartbreak and all of that, you know, like, do you think like that can affect you, you know, like as a person, like kind of?
It can.
Like what kind of music you hear affects you unconsciously, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like movies too, you know, people see movies like gangster movies or like drug dealer movies and they want to emulate, and like, you know, it's just like, it comes down to the person and knowing like what's real, what's not. Like there's consequences to, you know, if you go down this road, you know, which they don't really talk about it. But I mean, you see it in like drug dealer movies. What happens at the end? A drug dealer always dies or goes to jail, right?
Yeah.
You know, so like,
is it a good thing?
I don't know. I mean, it's just what happens, you know, like there's consequences to do the things that, you know, like to answer the question, I think music has an influence, movies have an influence, but we got to remember like what's entertainment and what's real life, and what elements to leave in the art and what elements to take and apply to our life. Because there are elements that inspire you to apply to your life, right? Whether it's good or bad, you know, but we just gotta know as humans, like, leave this part, take this part.
Yeah, for sure. But some people, they're obviously, like, they're young, right? They're influenceable, you know, this is why we like put, you know, those labels on it, right? But for you, you know, personally, like, cause I know you love like rap as well. I mean,
I do.
Like mainly like reggae, you know, some love songs as well. But I know like you love spitting, you love as well, you know, cursing, you know, like, you know, like the hard stuff, right? So, I mean, how is it for you? Do you have sometimes a struggle of like, hey, I actually want to just, you know, let it all out and like kind of spit and curse?
Yeah, because sometimes I feel self-conscious about like how certain people will take it, you know, which I shouldn't, you know, because like I just don't like to offend or upset people, but I also have to remember that I'm always gonna upset somebody. You know, I like when art is art. I like when art is free and you know,
unscripted.
Not unscripted, but like uninhibited. Art, you know, like, and get it out and like say what you want to say and like do what you want, you know what I mean?
Slim Shady.
Like oh my god, bro, like if Eminem came out in this generation, he would just be canceled like immediately.
That's what the death of Slim Shady was about, no?
Like he was talking about hacking up his girl with a chainsaw when I was a kid, 12-year-old me, like, I need to see your eyelids and fucking like up there like, you know, like
so long. Bitch, you did me so wrong. I mean, it was great. This is why it was a success so much too, right? Because I think people found it, especially back then, like so refreshing, right? That someone just like says whatever he wants, right? Because we, you know, even not in the too distant past, right? Things were so like strict and, you know, you couldn't, you know, get in real trouble, you know, if you say, hey, like fuck or something. So I think that was refreshing, but I think now it's, I don't know, I think we're like in this very different time, maybe, you know, where everything is like, you don't really know where it's going, right?
Like the thing about me, I like to be tasteful. Music, like I may curse or I may say things that are like
everything is allowed, like, you know,
whatever. Like I like to be tasteful and I like to be intentional, deliberate and thoughtful. Like if I say something vulgar, it's gonna be clever and like cute as well. You know, or at least I try. Like that, you know, so
you don't say, let's say, you know, like a curse word because you just feel like you want to evoke some emotion. You just say it because you want to say it and you think it fits to the song. And you know, like like you would say that, right? Like
or
authentic, maybe.
That, or like if it's like a rhyme that I know is gonna piss people off, but I'm like, damn, that's so good. That's such a good bar. Like, you know.
I mean, let's say that's very interesting. You know, let's say, you know, because even like the song Supernova as we're bringing out, like there is some cursing in it, right? So, like, you know, how do you describe the song? Maybe like, you know, player song, you know, right? Like party vibe.
It's like a confidence song. It's a self-confidence song about our journey.
Yeah.
It's about our journey. Remember, it's like supernovas. Yeah. We made it so far. You know?
Yeah, bro. Like, the show for us.
Just because you started at 19, I started at 12, doesn't mean you haven't been doing it for a long time. Yeah. Just because I've been doing it for longer doesn't mean you relatively
far from where you started.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. You're far from where you started. You started doing it at 19. You fell in love with it at 11. You know, and you're now how much? 26?
27.
So that's almost 10 years you've been doing it, bro.
Yeah.
That's a big. You know what I mean? That's also big. So, and that's the thing about supernovas is like we're saying, you know, supernovas. It's another way of saying superstar. Yeah. Like we're not, you know, superstar. It's like a creative way to say like
something refreshing.
We're stars, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's not like a conceited or cocky thing. That's just like,
it's confidence. And it's like what you put out, I think is like, my thought behind it is like you can manifest whatever you want.
I'm glad you mentioned the word manifestation.
You speak it into like reality.
Like it's already happened. Yeah. That's the thing about manifestation. Like you need to believe that it's already happened. Yeah. This is already a reality that you just haven't reached yet, but it exists. Yeah. It's there. You know, you just have to
realize it. You have to feel it. Yeah. Even if it's not there. And I want to speak about that, but I think my question before that, I think we got on a tangent. Okay. Was like, you know, with the cursing and with, you know, being maybe a little bit more ballsy or like less, publicly accepted, you know, with the song you would put out. Like, let's say this gets like really successful and someone would offer you, hey, like, I want that you do that, you know? Yeah. But it could like risk, you know, losing all other gigs or something, right? That you know, where you're supposed to be like, you know, more mainstream and more like, you know, no curse words, you know, curse words.
I don't know. Yeah. You know, like, the thing is, like, I've had over my career, people try to steer me in certain directions. Yeah. Some of them was good and made sense and some of them didn't. So I think it's like, I need to continue to like think about like what makes sense and what doesn't, you know, like there's certain things that I'm not going to say in songs. There's certain things that I'm not going to do in videos, you know, like there's standards that I have for my career and image that I'm not going to cross, you know what I mean? And like,
but when you get a deal, you know, let's say like where there's no going back in a way, you know, like, like you either this and you're gonna, you know, this is definitely propelling your career in like a bigger direction. Yeah. But then you're like that guy, right? Like you're probably not going, you have not the safety net of going back. Yeah. You know,
it just depends, bro. Like, it just depends, you know, but it just can't be inauthentic and it can't be like untrue to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if it made sense, you know, and it's not like compromising my values and stuff, like then
So you would do that, like. Huh? So you would do that. You would accept that offer too, like.
It just depends. You know, I would, like I wouldn't say, I would accept it.
Yes, please, send it to me.
That sounds like, the way that's worded, it just sounds like it's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. I refuse to answer this, Politician move. No, I mean, speaking of manifestation again, like that's, a big thing in my life as well right now. Like I'm listening to a lot of like, affirmations to, you know, like a lot of teachers as well, you know, like guys like Joe Dispenza, Abraham Hicks, you know, all those people that, you know, reprogramming your subconscious mind actually to be successful and to actually, what we already said, like create the reality that you have in here, but it's not yet in the real world. Right? Yeah. Like, do you do that as well? And if you do it, like, since when are you doing that?
It's a more recent thing, you know, definitely within the last 3 years of personal development and, you know, therapy, working on myself, stuff like that. But yeah, I love audiobooks as well, like listening to different affirmations, manifestations, making them my own. I even made a song called Money Mantras. It's coming up on my album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's like, and it's cool because like I'm saying things about money, like that can manifest money. You know what I mean? It was just, I was in that vibe.
Like you speak to money in a way? Or?
Yeah. Like, and it's featuring Classic also. Shout out to Classic. You know what I mean? Wicked artist from Philly. Yeah, so it Money Mantras, money, money, make it rain a couple racks. You can sing a money mantra. Whatever you focus on, you attract. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when is your album coming? Like,
still finishing it up. We're hoping, you know, by September. Oh, but it's a moving goalpost. You know what I'm saying? But like we got one or two more songs we're just finishing up now.
Oh, okay.
But of course, you know, when you have an album, you're always adding shit. You're always like, you know, but it's coming together nice though. It's gonna be good.
Nice.
Yeah, people are gonna definitely enjoy that one.
Your second or first?
Maybe fifth.
Oh, okay.
Fifth album. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, excited, guys. You know, again. What's the name again?
Tentatively, we have the title "Actually Good."
Oh,
okay. Yeah, actually good.
It's gonna be actually good, man.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan. You know, that's what I think.
So you manifested that, like you as a performer right now, is it like you manifested before, or was it just like it happened naturally?
I think it's manifested. You know, because it's part of my dream. It's part of like what I saw myself doing as a kid. But I'm still manifesting it. You know, like I'm manifesting higher. Like more, you know what I mean? Like I know
Supernova song.
Like when people tell me like, oh, you know, I don't know, like when they're like, oh, you've done all this and like, it's so inspiring. I'm like, but to me, it's like, I haven't even done shit yet. Like I haven't even like done the most of what I know I can do. You know what I mean? Like you just like forget to like, be like, oh shit, I just came all this way. I just did all this stuff that's really cool. Like, but like one thing that kind of got bred out of me was like celebrating my successes, which is bad. Like I need to like be like, yo, I did this. Like let's celebrate it. Like
you don't
did this deal. Yeah, it's just like, all right, that's cool. Like what's next? You know, like it's bad. It's not good. You know, it's like almost like
take it for granted, man.
Not take it for granted, but like I guess that is a way to describe it. And like just, you know. Always like, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
You know, not kicking my feet. Oh, I made it. Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't, you know, but you definitely need to accept, you know, what you just did and acknowledge that it's a great thing. I have the same stuff, like you worrying as well, like, and put so much effort into like an album or like a single and then it's out and you just feel like nothing, you know? Like, what is that, you know? Like,
discouraging. That's I guess that's one of the moments where it can be discouraging. But, you know, I think you and I are learning like what needs to be done. There's certain steps that need to be, you can't just throw something out there.
Yeah.
You know, we know that. There's a lot of effort. Like there's almost more effort now that needs to go into like the promotion side of music.
Yeah.
I mean, not
an artist too, you know, you're basically like a business, right? Like, that's what it is. Like there's no label, you're a small guy, like it's still a hobby, but you not because you take it serious. You put things out and there's as well money that comes with it. Even if it's small, like.
And you gotta put money into it. Being on your own and not with a label, you know, you gotta be the one, you gotta be the bank and you're putting your own money behind.
And sometimes it's very frustrating when there's like no real like resonance then to it, right?
Like there's no ROI.
Payoff.
The ROI is not.
At one point you think like, what am I doing here?
The return on investment is not matching up.
Yeah.
You know, cause it's like a different currency. Like sometimes it's vanity metrics that we're paying, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not actual money that's like yet, you know, not yet, but it will, you know, it will get to that point. It's just like in the beginning, you might be dumping money and like all you're getting is like eyes looking or followers or like, you know, and that might be enough, you know, because once they see it, then they're like, oh, this guy's cool. And then you hit him with another one and another one, you know, and then it's like a snowball over time.
Yeah.
So you just can't get discouraged by, you know, the lack of results at first and just, you know, keep.
But that said, someone experiences like all the time, let's say, right? And he has spent so much money, like, is there like a point where someone just should like accept like, hey, you know, maybe that's not my path?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say what someone else should do, you know. I think, you know, many are called, few are chosen.
I see. You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need to make it happen, and maybe some, don't resonate with what you do, and I mean, I see it as well, like, it's like a business, right? Like, you create music, you create your album, you create your songs, and they are like a product, in a way, right?
They are.
So, it's not like personal, you know, it's just like your shit didn't really touch people, right?
And that's where the improvement,
yeah, exactly.
That's where the improvement comes in, because you might be like, all right, what was it about that didn't touch people?
Yeah.
You know, and like, what do I need to work on the next time and the next time? Like, if you really love it and you really want to succeed, like, you got to be willing to change and adapt. You know, if there's something that you do that doesn't come across or doesn't, you know, doesn't catch on, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you gotta even shift genres. You see MGK, bro, he was doing rap for the longest. Now he's like doing rock and shit, and like he's,
he got,
you know,
by Eminem.
Jelly Roll. Well, that, you know, there was the whole thing. Jelly Roll, I don't know if he was doing country like when he first started, but now he's doing like country, bro. Like, you know, sometimes you gotta completely shift genres. And like, I have had that thought with like reggae and dancehall, you know, like, lately I've been doing songs that are like R&B, or like I've done a country song, I do a disco song, you know, I got one Peanut Butter Jelly disco, bro, like like I got a rock song on my album, like, you know.
Do you think this can hurt you too, you know, if you're like, because I heard as well, like you need to have like, you need to be identifiable, right?
Yeah, like, so like with the algorithms, it can be hurtful because like Spotify, for example, doesn't know where to put you. It's like, oh, he's just doing all this kind of different music. What kind of artist is he? We don't get it. You know, so like, yeah, it can hurt. It can hurt you. It can hurt you. Like,
you have a lane, you know?
But I don't, you know, I have always admired, like, for going back to Damian Marley. If you listen to a Damian Marley album, Welcome to Jamrock, let's say, for example, that's like, I think on the album there was like 2 or 3 reggae songs. The other songs were like, he had one with Bobby Brown that sounded more like, it's like dancehall, but it sounded kind of like R&B. You know, like he has like just the eclectic. I love like when artists put out albums that are like, every song is like, oh shit, where did this come from? Where, like, no, like not banger, but
like it's different in like
different style. And it's like, oh shit, like he's that guy. Like, I like that. Some people, some fans and listeners don't like that. They like to know what to expect from an artist. It's just about the type of listener.
But I think nowadays, sorry that.
No, you're
but nowadays you need to, I think, have the variety too, right? It showed as well, like in just hip hop as well. Like, you know, Drake came, established like all the singing.
Right? Like, he does like Caribbean fucking music.
I mean, some people that complain as well. Like he's like adapting all the, you know, adapting just like styles.
Everybody's somebody's gonna
appropriation, shit, you know. But I mean, it just shows like he still opened the doors with that, you know. Like, and I think now it's like you need to be like versatile.
You gotta be versatile,
like, you need to as well, you know, go out of your comfort zone, do something maybe edgy as well.
You know what my biggest successful song was, other than Philosophy of Life, which is the Wailers collaboration?
Wait, let me think. The Day Off, no?
No.
Dib?
No. Christmas song.
Ah, it's Christmas.
It's time. You know what I'm saying? Christmas time. I mean, Day Off was big. Dip was big. Is big. Not was. It's still, you know, still doing its thing out there. And I love those songs. But Christmas time is my biggest, is my biggest song. Holiday music. People love fucking holiday music, bro. Like, right when September hits, I see the fucking Spotify shit. It's like amazing. I want to do a whole Christmas album. I got a song Thanksgiving. I got a Thanksgiving song.
Yeah, true.
That's now my #1 song right now in fucking, where are we at? June?
Yeah.
You know?
Soon Thanksgiving again.
It's on top of my spot. So like, you know, and that's a reggae song.
You need to give the people what they want to hear as well.
What they want to hear. But like I mean, yes, but you be true to yourself as an artist.
Rubin would disagree.
I know we both heard that both.
He disagrees to that. No, he says
audience comes last.
Audience comes last. So
because we know why he says that, because
shout out.
No, but because like when you're doing music from your heart and soul, the right audience is going to find you and they're going to feel it. I mean, they're not going to find you. You got to we got to promote. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's very interesting, because do you think, it's more important to have like 1,000, you know, like real hardcore fans?
Yes.
Or do you think
it's better to,
well, but or you have like a big audience, but the thing is like, I would as well agree, like, yeah, it's better to have like a core audience, but I mean, you're not selling like a product really that you get like money for. right? Like an e-commerce. Yeah, no, we already put on a song, right? So we only get really paid, right? Or you make it when as much people as possible listen to your song.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So it's not like that you set like a painter, right? Like you have 1,000 people, like collectors, you sell your paintings to, and you're good, right? But with us, it's not that simple. Like people don't buy your song.
Yeah,
like,
but you gotta have shirts and shit like that. You gotta have like merch, you know what I mean?
Go on shows
and shows and.
But it's like a lot of people need to care about you, right?
But if you had 1,000 people that really was dedicated to you and listened to all your music and bought all your shit, you'd be a millionaire. You'd be a millionaire, bro. It don't matter, yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? Like, they're all scattered in the world.
I would rather have that than a million people.
But
like,
how do you play shows? How do you play shows when they're not even in your country?
I mean, well, good,
you know what I mean?
Good point.
Like, if you play shows, you need to have a big fucking audience.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, the best of bad. That's ideal, of course. You know, a big engaged audience. Yeah. The thing is engagement. That's the key. You know, however, whatever the size is, the audience needs to be engaged.
Yeah. So that's kind of like shitty, like as a musician in a way, right? Because you need to as well at one point in order to make it be a little bit like mainstream, right? Or you need to be
somehow, you mean with your style, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You need to
palatable to the masses.
As many, because otherwise you're like, okay, great, you're like a sick rapper, you know, but it's like just the rap lovers, you know, gonna really appreciate you, you know, like somewhere. But I think that's maybe a little bit the crux with it, right? That you don't have as much freedom as like other artists, maybe, right? That like our painters or selling a product even, right? If you have like a core audience, you just sell a product the whole time. But as in music, you need to touch many people. Right?
Yeah, I mean, no, you're right. Like, that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I think, it's just whoever, I mean, you obviously
your hair pink, bro.
Huh?
We need to, you know, change our hair color. You know?
Over time, like you gain those dedicated followers, you know what I mean? And you gotta like, look after them. You got to engage with them too, especially in today's like market. You got to be like engaged. And you're doing a great job with that. I'm not right now. I will admit it. I'm not doing a great job with that. You know, connecting with my audience. Like I'm very much just like I'm in. You know why? Because I'm in creation mode. I'm not really in like promotion mode right now. I'm not really in like.
That's most artists that don't want to take care of this shit.
Well, like I'm in album mode, which is like I'm tucked away. I'm writing. I'm creating. I'm just like
monk mode. No?
Yeah, like you know, like I remember there was a show about Diplo. You seen that on a Vice?
No, really.
Oh, but they were talking. It was like the episode where they were making what's that song? Where Are You Now with Justin Bieber, and it was so funny. Yeah, because like you know the part goes. Like they're in the beginning of the episode. Diplo. Skrillex. It was him and Skrillex.
Yeah, it was like Bieber. Yeah, it was.
And like they were producing the song, and Skrillex played that lick on the piano. Yeah. And Diplo was like, nah, I don't like that. I don't know. I'm feeling it, yo. And then like, it set him down like a month long, like, creative, like, block. It's like, he's like, had like sticky notes all over the studio. Like, fuck, like, how do we get the right lyric, like the right line for that? And he's like growing a beard and like, this going, you know, like full on, like.
Yeah, taking it serious.
Like, artist creative block trying to do everything. And then like one day there was like a pizza on the keyboard and a rat fucking like walked across.
I know.
And it went the same fucking line went like the same, and then he's like, oh, that's it, you know. And then in the interview with Skrillex, when the interview with Skrillex, he's like, I'm pretty sure that it was like the same thing I played in the beginning. Hey, you know, it's fine or whatever.
Like artists are like this sometimes, you know, like you go sometimes with the you know idea that you did like just, you know, half-ass in the beginning. Yeah, it's like so long.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta put down a song and come back to it too.
You get lost in a way, you know. Yeah. All right. I mean, I really enjoy this here. I think, you know, the last, you know, maybe topic would be like, you know, do you think like you have a higher power that is supporting you in this? And
definitely. Definitely.
in life as
well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do. And I've just learned like how to tap into that more. Like, I definitely do it myself type of person. And like, I'm very much like self-sufficient and like, I can do this on my own. Like, cause I just am used to it. Like, I'm used to people like not getting my vision and me just being like, all right, I'll just do this on my own, kind of thing. But like, I've learned recently that I need to engage my like spirituality and like, speak things out there into existence and, ask for guidance, and it's definitely helped for sure.
Yeah. Why I'm saying this as well, it's because like we speak about all the strategies, all the things you can do. And, in the end of the day, do you think like that you make it, or be successful with it, that's not really up to you in a way, right? Like you can do all those things, but in the end of the day, it's like, if someone decides, if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. Right? Do you think like that, man?
Yeah, but I feel like that force told me at a young age that
I'm chosen.
Yeah.
Make music, motherfucker.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So like, I feel like we already had that conversation when I was 12 and he's just like, or he or she or they, like, it was just like the energy. It was just like, it's kind of like just do the next thing that like, that needs to be done.
Yeah. Like don't give up in a way.
Yeah.
Like just stick to it.
Like just do these things and like you'll get to this vision that I'm showing you kind of thing.
I see. And the people that don't, let's say, or give up, or the people that just, even though they don't give up, but they stick to it and are unsuccessful, do you think like maybe God or whatever, the universe is not, deciding that path for them? And then other people that do, let's say, very little, but all of a sudden they blow up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you think has something to do with that, or it's pure randomness?
It could be. I don't know for sure. We can only go with what we've seen and what we think.
Yeah.
I think maybe the giving up or the like just discouragement or just like letting it beat you down is like
part of the journey.
Maybe it's disconnect with the higher power.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like I'm not seeing it, so or you're not trying to see it, so you're just like
Well, they put it in your way in order to, like, do you really want it? Like, I give you this challenge here. You need to overcome this in order to be that person.
That part. Because, like, if you don't overcome this, like, how are you going to overcome the next thing?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'm mad because, I wasn't signed or I wasn't famous at a young age. But I'm like, if I had gotten famous at a young age, I would have fucking blown it.
Yeah, like that mindset back then.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm like, okay, I get it why it's taking like this time,
Yeah. So it was all meant to be like any struggle, any challenge you went through, it's supposed to be that way.
In perfect time. Yeah.
Because now you can look back and be like, I don't want anything different because of maybe the person that I am today.
That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel, bro. Straight up, bro. It's really great talking to you, man.
Hey, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, bro. We're gonna get it, bro. Supernova
is July
11th. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Look out for that.
Yeah. If you enjoy this, I think I'm gonna do some more. I really like that.
Follow Robbizzy.
Follow Paul Anthony for sure.
Paul #2 DI Anthony Instagram.
Check
Facebook,
it out. Yeah. And I think maybe we can do this again, or sit down with someone else, and we should as well give Supreme.
We gotta shout out Supreme. So like I was saying, 15 years ago or so, I walked into this studio and met Supreme and recorded here. You know what I'm saying? Under the name Spider. So, big shouts out to Supreme. Black Chinese sound.
Great
Chinese
guy.
assassin sound. You know what I mean? Yeah.
He's
Legendary.
Check out the studio if you like from around here, South Florida. Like, come by and contact him. On Instagram, he's Supreme 360, if I'm not mistaken. You're gonna find him. We're gonna link him under here.
Big
and check out our artist page. And if you're an artist, like, let this encourage you.
Definitely.
And stay on the path. And with
Keep growing.
see you on the next one.
Hey.